Back at it again, and with some great news as far as the program going and some stuff that's going to be happening concurrently. But first, what the hell am I wearing? Well, it is freezing where I live right now. I live in Payson, Arizona. It's been snowing for like 2 days. It's supposed to snow for like another day and a half. So this here is my velour tracksuit that I bought for a costume party last year and finally getting some use out of it. Okay, yeah, yesterday's video I forgot to add my body measurements in the annotations or even in the details to the video. So I went ahead and did those again today and got body weight and then used a calculator to look at body fat percentage. Obviously they're not going to be completely accurate, but it seemed to be a pretty in-depth calculator. So we got looking at 50-inch waist, and that's rounded up to the next inch due to the calculator. 48 inches at the hips, 29-inch thigh, 18-inch calf, 50-inch chest, 55-inch shoulders, 17-inch arms, 14-inch forearms, 17 inches at the neck, 8 inches on the wrist, 11 inches on the ankle. Now those measurements sound amazing, especially coupled with the 295 pounds. I thought it was at about 300, but 295 pounds. Holy shit, I should be Mr. Olympia. If it wasn't for the 36.5% body fat percentage. So, and I got that using, healthstatus.com, I believe. I'll link it below in the details. A calculator took all those measurements and then did a pretty good accurate. It's supposed to be accurate to 1 to 3% body fat variance. So we got all that going. That'll all be listed below too if you didn't hear me or if I mumbled or something. And then let's see. Oh yes, big news. I got messaged from someone who was watching the video about bodybuilding.com's transformation challenge. And it starts, today's the 7th, it starts on the 11th. It runs for 12 weeks. And I have a body space profile, which I'll also link. So I've used that website pretty often. I've bought some supplements from them and just general reading guides and stuff. But they're starting their 2016 body transformation challenge. Long story short, 12 weeks. Take before picture, take an after picture. Whoever is the best transformation in 12 weeks wins $100,000. So, and a sponsorship from bodybuilding.com and Diamond Ties. Obviously, they have a bunch of other little consolation prizes or runner-up stuff. Not saying that I'm going to win it. I'm saying I definitely could because of the drastic changes we're going to be seeing within the next 3-4 months. So this is a hell of a thing to be doing just as a side project to help keep us motivated, help keep me on track. Really have to monitor things, and who knows, maybe, I mean, that'd be very, very fortunate if something came up on that. If not, it's just something fun to do. Alright, and let's see, today's video is supposed to be about my diet, my supplementation, and a daily routine. Diet, the big one. Ketogenic diet. Something that I'll be following while on this program. If you don't know what that is, please find a more reputable source than me to go learn about that. It's kind of, it'd be similar to Atkins, but Atkins has kind of a bad reputation as a crash diet. It's not sustainable. Ketogenic diet is supposed to be sustainable. I first heard about it off of Reddit, r/keto, K-E-T-O, and r/keto gains, shout out. I'm a regular lurker on both of those subreddits, and I tried keto for the first time a year ago, and I was about 335 pounds. This is 2 years out of high school, 2 years of being lazy, 2 years of not having to do anything, not watching my diet, not really being that active or anything like that, so I put on a lot of bad weight. Get into the workforce after 2 years of some schooling. I went to ASU for a while, and decided that I'm tired of being lazy and big. And I found the ketogenic diet. I tried it out, and I have absolute amazing results with this. It's probably going to be different for everyone. Maybe it was just a placebo thing, because I've never tried it. But I know that I feel amazing on this diet. Have to sleep less. Normally I sleep 10, 11 hours a day and still feel very tired every day. When I was very big into the keto diet and what they consider to be fat adapted, I was sleeping 4, 5 hours a day and felt fully rested every single day. I went from 330 pounds to 271 pounds in like 5 months, I think, because I was at that time one of the big goals I had for getting back down to weight is I wanted to go and do an MMA fight, one of the cage fight type things, and that goal ended here just in November. I got down to about 265, 270 pounds. My fight got canceled, so I decided to take that as all right, let's get back in the gym. Let's heavy lift, a lot less fight training. And I started a dirty bulk, so, hence I'm back at it about 300 pounds now between the holidays and just eat, lift. So I know keto works for me, and I wanted to kind of see how it worked with the Bigger by the Day program, brought to you by Rich Piana, and because he's not going to support this. This is not a bodybuilding type diet. This is typically used for a fat loss. And I have a couple reasons for that. Number one is Bigger by the Day for Rich Piana is get huge. Bigger by the Day for me is develop as a whole. Now, I'd love to be massive. I'd love to be that 295 pounds I am right now with those measurements at like 12% body fat, but that's more of a future goal. That's not something that we're going to do right away. What we're going to do right away is just make massive visual changes in a short amount of time. So, and beyond that, I noticed that when the last time I was on the keto diet, and you'll see lots of debate on whether or not you can lose fat and gain muscle at the same time. General consensus seems to be that if you're doing that and it's noticeable that you're putting a lot of muscle mass and losing a lot of body weight, that you're probably taking a bunch of gear, or you're brand new to lifting and it's beginner gains. Now, I don't know if it's in my head or what, but when I was on keto for those 5 to 6 months, I was getting huge strength gains. I was getting weight loss, but there'd be weeks to where I could see inches coming out, visible body fat loss coming off of me, on my waistline and on my arms, but the scale wasn't moving down. The scale was either staying the same or even going up. Now, with the lack of water retention on a ketogenic diet due to not eating carbohydrates, that a lot of that weight has to be attributed to muscle mass. Now, I could be completely off or naive, but in my perspective, I think that this is going to be a very happy medium from the typical bodybuilding get huge, cut down, or cut down and then get huge cycling. Reason I want to do that is because obviously I have a ton of extra body weight. And I'm tall, so it's distributed somewhat well. I look pretty good with a shirt on or a muscle shirt. You see my shoulders pop out and you don't see the gut. But I am terrified of, once I get to my ideal body weight, having immense amounts of loose skin. I will never know until I get there, but it's almost something that's like keeping me from wanting to get there, like having all this loose skin. I would be extremely self-conscious about that. Me being young enough, I hope that my skin can kind of bounce back from having all this extra pudge everywhere. But I don't want to make the issue any worse. And as much as I'd love to just eat, get big, that muscle underneath that fat's just stretching that skin out even more. So I want to try to, I hate the word tone, but I'm trying to tone everything at the same rate and get things going. So that's my diet. Go feel free, look it up. I'm sure a lot of people aren't going to agree with it, or even for this program, or even agree with me following anything that Rich Piana says. But that's what we're modeled after. Let's see, supplementation. I've got a couple with me right now. I don't take a whole lot of supplements right now just due to funding, because supplements are expensive and for the most part not real needed. But one thing I've always taken, Animal Pack. Just a standard as a multivitamin. In fact, when I was in high school, I used to read the Muscle and Fitness magazines a lot. I would actually go through the magazines looking for the Animal Pack ads, because they always had the most hardcore ads, you know, especially for like leg days. This massive monster of a man standing in front of a squat rack with like 12 plates on each side, and then it all says Animal Pack and gives you like a big old description. I bought into that so hard. I used to post them on my walls in my room and shit. But so Animal Pack, great multivitamin. Starting off with just one every day. We might move up to 2, although because they recommend 2 if you're extremely active, but I tend to think that that's just so you run out more, so you buy another one. This unlabeled white jug is nothing but Metamucil. I don't get enough fiber from my diet, and I like to have Metamucil in the morning because I want something to like coat my stomach, but I have a hard time eating right away when I wake up. This here is just a typical protein powder. This one's made by BSN. I was fortunate enough while I was training for that MMA fight to win a sweepstakes with Muscle and Fitness, and then BSN sent me like $400 worth of supplements, protein powders, amino acids. Their new Hypershred, BSN Hypershred, their fat burner, which I wish I had more of. That stuff was great, especially as far as energy levels go. And also, they sent me like 3 tubs of No Explode. I'm sure you guys are real familiar with No Explode. I don't use pre-workout every day. In fact, I try not to use it as much as I can, just so I don't build up that tolerance, tolerance to it. I'll use it on days that I'm not feeling it, or I know that I should be pushing a little bit harder, but I'm not. And another reason why I don't use pre-workout every day is because I do take what you would consider a fat-burning supplement. The term fat burner, I don't know. It's more of a thermogenic, but that's just a fancier term for fat burner. I make my own. Yes, I make my own. And the reason I do that is that I feel that a lot of the designer fat burners, one, may not even have enough in their signature blend to really be doing anything. I've noticed I don't feel much on some of them more than others. So I just stick with 4 main ingredients in my thermogenic, and that's a caffeine source. So usually about 200 to 250 milligrams of caffeine. A aspirin, typically, was it 15 or 20 milligrams of aspirin? I don't. It's somewhere around there. I have to look at the. I forgot. Anyway, I have to look at it whenever I'm done with this. But aspirin and cayenne pepper, which might just be another one of those placebo things. I mean, you can taste the heat, but I mean, hot food does have a metabolic response. And whenever you eat like super hot foods and stuff like that, it does pick you up. And probably the biggest one that I don't know how you guys are gonna react, but ephedra. And I get that from like Broncaid or asthma medication, and that's usually low dosage, around 20 milligrams of ephedra, in combination with all those other things. Really, I notice, and the thing with ephedra is the biggest thing is the appetite suppressant, which I'm not exactly too big into anyway, because it's never really worked on me that well because I'm always hungry. But 2, I don't really need it to, because I need to be eating for this program like pretty often. We're looking at maybe 5 to 6 meals a day to start, then we'll go up from there. But lots of experience in the past with ephedra-based products and their success, and lots of research on it. So I don't really want to go into preaching about it, but that's what I'm going to be doing. And let's see. Oh, I wrote out a mock daily schedule here. I work swing shift, evening shift, over at the local casino here in Payson. I work in the cage and vault. It's the cashiers and money counters and stuff. So I wake up 10 o'clock. Wake up, instantly have my BCAs, my animal pack, and a thing of Metamucil. Followed Rich Piano on this one. I had a mini fridge just sitting around, not really using it. I wasn't sure what to use it for, so I put it right by my bed, so I have all that stuff ready. I thought that was kind of neat, kind of a novelty. So 10 o'clock, wake up, do that. Spend about 15 minutes slapping myself around or dunking my head in the toilet to actually wake up, because I'm not a morning person at all. Then hit the fasted cardio. Now, it's fasted because I've been sleeping and I haven't had anything to eat before I do it, but I still have something in my stomach. I have a lot of liquid. I have those BCAs. I have the vitamins, which they don't recommend taking on an empty stomach, but I don't see how they wouldn't be more effective, or I would get more out of them if they were on an empty stomach. And then the fiber Metamucil product. So fasted cardio, which for a while it's going to be probably jump rope for 15-20 minutes. It's something that I just got into doing when I was doing that fight training. Jump rope was really important for that. It's a hell of a cardio exercise. It's definitely going to bring out my calves too, which you don't want small legs. And 15-30 minutes at first. We're going to go more into that. Probably end up doing interval running and stuff, because up here in Payson there's lots of forest and hills and mountains and stuff to go run around on like a caveman. And right after that, making breakfast. Breakfast every day is probably going to be bacon and eggs, and that's just to hit that main meal, the most important meal of the day, breakfast. And that's just that moderate to high protein content, high fat, low carb. With breakfast, I'll take my first of my Thermogenic, and I'll probably only do 2 of those a day, maybe 3 if it's going to be a long day or I'm just really down, but most likely 2. And between 10:35 and 11, I'm just going to be squaring the house away, doing those breakfast dishes, getting things ready, probably making another meal to take with me to the gym. I don't know. But 11:35 or 11:15, be at the gym, start my weight workout, and I have 11:15 to 1:15 set aside for workout, which is 2 hours, and so much more than you probably need. But I tend to take my time in the gym, and I've always been one to go to the gym for 2, 3, sometimes like a leg day, 4 hours, just really putting in the work. And that's just from watching lots of bodybuilding stuff and kind of having that as a background as opposed to athletic training and stuff like that. So 2 hours in the gym, instantly down my shake, probably sipping on BCAs throughout the entire workout. Apparently I forgot to talk about BCAs during the supplement portion, but those are just usually Optimum Nutrition, because they're basic BCAs, not flavored, no extra sugar or anything like that. They're fairly affordable. And let's see, after workout, get a shake in, go home, drive home, take about 15-20 minutes, eat another meal, get ready for work. I have to be to work by 2:15 over at the casino. I get a break every 2 hours though, so that's going to be plenty enough room to fit my meals in and stuff. And then while I'm working, I can be sipping on lots and lots of water, shooting for over a gallon, probably a gallon and a half of water a day. The first meal is going to be on my first break from work around 4:15. Well, that's actually my third meal, but first meal at work. And for the example day that I have wrote out, I have tuna fish there. Tuna fish and probably green beans or peas or some sort of fibrous vegetable. Next break around 6 o'clock. That's going to be a Tupperware container full of beef broth that I'm going to pre-prepare, probably bouillon cubes if they're cheap enough, or just make some broth off of some other of the dinners or food that I made. And that's just because of the keto diet. You have to really, really up your sodium intake, your potassium, magnesium. And I'm getting a lot of that from the animal pack, but even more so, especially that sodium, you're not having any carbs, so you're not retaining any water. You're going to get dehydrated. You're going to get flu-like symptoms. Whole other subject. So beef broth, and I'll probably, depending on how I feel, take my other Thermogenic pill right there. Next break's at 8:15. Eat another meal from a different protein source, most likely chicken, since we've had bacon, eggs, we've had tuna fish. That'll be chicken. Go home around 10:30 after work. have probably have a shake as I'm just kind of winding down and just getting ready to work on either video stuff or maybe just putzing around the house, internet stuff. By about 2:30 in the morning, more BCAs while I'm doing what Rich Piana refers to as his feeder workouts. I thought this was a pretty cool idea. I've never heard of it before. I mean, it makes some sense to me. I'm sure it could be considered overtraining, but it made sense to me. I'm going to give it a try just because I never have. Basically, it's a super high rep, supersetted workout for a auxiliary muscle group right before you go to sleep. Immediately, boom, pass out, go to sleep. And makes sense in my head just because it's probably putting you in an anabolic state. Just like you don't want to do like a bunch of cardio right before you go to sleep because you'll be catabolic as you go throughout the night, and you're not feeding your body correct fuel sources. Might be reaching for that hard-earned muscle that you don't want it to eat up. So putting in an anabolic workout or anabolic state from doing, I think the first 2 months are shoulders. So every night, that's 100 reps lateral raises, 100 reps bent over rear delt raises, supersetted, and then you do 3 sets. So that's 100 reps, and then I grabbed 15-pound dumbbells for that. So, and I was doing it just a couple, and I was like, oh, let's see how this is going to be, and I'm sure it's going to suck a lot. It's going to burn quite a bit. So I figured that'll take about maybe 30 minutes just to like finish all that and then fall asleep. And so I'll be out by about 3 o'clock in the morning, wake up at 10 o'clock the next day, and do it all over again. So that's the plan. That's going to change based on results I'm seeing, how I'm feeling, adding more workload. Probably never going to take any workload off. It's a basic daily routine for a day that I have to work. On days off, I'll probably add some more athletic something there. Maybe do 2 days on my days off, and then have adequate rest time. But as far as rest and overtraining goes, I've always felt if you're eating enough, if you're sleeping enough, probably not overtraining. So that's the plan. This is a pretty long video, apparently, and thanks for watching. We'll keep you tuned. All that stuff below. Website I use for body fat percentage, links to the keto sources, my measurements, all going to be posted below. And yeah, till next time.